Oh boy, somebody sent me this one on Instagram and said, Kevin, you gotta react to this video of somebody putting up their house for sale, and you gotta show us what you would do differently. And what do I like more than giving my perspective or my 2 cents on stuff? Well, maybe a little bit of don't sue me bro coffee with a glass straw. But beyond that, I'm ready to give you some more perspective. So in today's Meet Kevin reaction, I'm going to walk you through where money should have been spent or what things should have been done to maximize the sale value of this property wherein this popular YouTuber failed. Just a quick note, I'll be in Austin for our real estate investing crash course this Saturday, followed by our crash courses in Miami, San Francisco, and Charlotte, North Carolina, with of course our 10X event in February. Look forward to seeing you there. First things first, any of the older dated gold hardware has got to go, like those hinges or that lock or that secondary lock there. These things gotta go or get replaced. Just to be clear, if it has any of this brassy kind of look to it, the odds are it's gotta go. There are newer styles of brass hardware that do look very nice, but generally if you have any of this older kind of brass, you better off getting rid of it, because the last thing you wanna do when you're selling real estate is signal with relatively inexpensive things that the property is dated. My rule of thumb as a real estate broker is always, where can I spend $1 and get $2 to $3 back? And getting rid of gold hardware is definitely one of those. As soon as you walk in the front door, this is what greets you. And unfortunately, what greets you is not a lot of space. As a result, the first recommendation I would have to make sure this property sells for more money is getting rid of this 6-person dining room set and replacing this with a 4-person dining room set. That'll create a lot more space and a lot more of at least a feeling that you can actually walk around and do things. You can see in this shot, take a look at the bottom left. This is actually another piece of miscellaneous furniture that probably doesn't have to be there. We'll see as we keep going through the video, but that's the first thing I would do, get rid of anything that blocks walking paths. And right now, as you walk in that front door, you want to turn left to go through the kitchen, you're gonna be squeezing through that chair and this cabinet here, and it's just unnecessary, especially if you're getting ready to sell a house. It's all about space.
Oh my god, haven't made a vlog in this house in forever. And
now the first thing that really strikes me here are those dark faux wood blinds. In my opinion, these are absorbing way too much light. I would absolutely replace these with white faux wood blinds to really brighten up the space. We have a lot of dark pieces of artwork, furniture, tile, rugs, a lot of dark going on in here. And the last thing I want is more dark, making the space feel even smaller than it really should be. Just to show you the contrast, take a look at this image, which has predominantly darker colors and those dark faux wood blinds. It looks good. By no means am I saying that this is bad. Obviously, this is a well-designed property here. However, it is still darker and it will make a space feel smaller. And the last thing we need in this PvP house is making it feel smaller. Take a look instead at this Home Depot white faux wood blind and just look, even though this is such a close-up photo, how much more airy and open the feeling is that comes off of this wall next to this white furniture and the brighter lighting and the brighter faux wood blind. The second thing I notice is that this TV is actually going to be very unflattering when you first walk into the property. You're going to be looking at this TV from the side. I would probably recommend getting rid of the TV and this media display and solely giving people the impression that, hey, you know what, if you want to set up the TV over the fireplace, that's the place to do that. And you can give that same impression with the mirror they have, which the mirror is actually a good choice. But hey, look, if you're moving, you're going to be packing that cabinet anyway, you're going to be packing the junk in it anyway. You'll probably be taking your TV and your surround system, which looks like it's a Bose. You may as well take it off the walls now. The next problem becomes really apparent. We do not need an 8-person couch setup in this small space. I would highly encourage consolidating this entire couch setup into possibly even just a 2-person couch setup with maybe 1 chair on the side. It is not a large family room. Anything that takes away space with these large pieces of furniture is really going to hurt the sale of this property. Take a look at this particular room as an example. Smaller couches, very light decorations. The furniture is brighter overall. It gives a lot more feeling of space. This is a lot more like something that somebody would actually want to purchase because there's this impression of space. Same thing over here when we go into a relatively small family room. Notice how little seating there is that actually still makes this area work. You've got essentially this 2 to 3 person couch and maybe a couple chairs on the side. But having this large scale couch back here with the extra lamp is really hurting the sale of this property. The larger furniture is also leading to the larger area rug, which is making the entire space again feel smaller. See, the more of one consistent flooring people see when they walk into a space, the larger the space appears. But when you have bigger furniture, you have bigger rugs, and then you accent that with darker decor or darker blinds, you end up getting this feeling that the space is a lot smaller than it actually is. Remember, when it comes to living in a property, it's okay to focus on functionality, but when it comes to selling a property, you gotta focus on space, bright, airy, fresh, clean, new. That's what matters.
Is going up for sale. Yes, I repeat, the PvP house is for sale. And it's crazy to think because it's sad. This is sad. There's been so much like history in this house and so many pranks. Literally, like this house is famous. This house is freaking famous and we're getting rid of it. So it's time.
Now, looking at the kitchen, love the stainless appliances. I'm actually okay with the white countertops because they look like they're in great shape. However, we've got a couple problems. We've got this very yellowed lighting. I would replace these with LED lights as soon as possible. These are probably some older halogens that are really casting way too much yellow on these already yellow cabinets. Though what I would probably recommend doing is removing the hardware from these cabinets, painting these cabinets a gray color, although that backsplash might create a little bit of an issue, so it's gonna be hard to tell exactly whether or not I would go with a white cabinet or a gray cabinet, but I'd absolutely do something to update these cabinets because right now this is that kind of kitchen where people look and go, oh, appliances look great, cool, but all those cabinets gotta go. In fact, if you have not yet already seen my video on the $643 kitchen remodel, make sure to check the link in the description to see how we transformed those oaky looking cabinets with the white tile countertops into this beautiful gray kitchen cabinetry. Yeah, take a look at where that artwork is on the right side there with that cabinetry right when you walk in the front door. It's gotta go. Serves no purpose in the sale whatsoever. Get it out. So this bathroom's actually not half bad. You've got sort of this chair rail separating, creating 2 different color tones in the room. The tile looks clean, the floor looks good. Everything about the bathroom looks pretty good. However, that framed mirror and that picture above the toilet gotta go. I would paint that framed mirror white and get rid of that picture above the toilet, and this bathroom would be good for me. I would probably also roll up the floor rug. Floor rugs, while again, they're useful when you're living there, they're just not necessary in a bathroom when you're getting ready to sell the property. Show off the tile that you have, show off how clean and beautiful that bathroom is. This room absolutely needs a paint job. There is no way this light purple is a good idea. It's gotta go. It must be neutral. If you are going to sell, do not have statement colors like this. Also, I could see in the distance there that outlet looks like it's one of those ivory kind of outlets back here. I would replace these with white. See, to me, there's nothing like a house full of ivory outlets and switches to scream 1960s, 70s, or 80s dated. Get rid of them. Get the white. And I mean, seriously, the worst thing you could probably do is have the ivory outlets and then the white faceplate. All it does is draw attention to it. As much as I'm not the biggest fan of that vanity, it kind of works with the green contrasting plant. I would still paint this mirror trim white though and get rid of that darker painting over around the corner. I might want to add a little bit of color, get rid of the soap, and the way I'd add some color is by putting in a couple new towels, either on the vanity or on the towel rack. Maybe get rid of that floor rug as well and try to stage this a little bit better than this. but I probably wouldn't spend the money replacing a vanity here. The faucet looks fine, the countertop looks fine, sink looks fine. Remember, we want to spend as little money as possible. Now, I would put in toilet paper. It's a pretty newbie mistake not to have toilet paper in a house that's for sale, because when people use the bathroom, the last thing you want is somebody using your toilet and then not having toilet paper to clean up. You know what I'm saying?
It's so weird. This house is very cozy. This house has this like...
Yeah, cozy is not a good thing. The sponging is very 90s. This is probably okay. Like, I think the higher priority is that purple room, but yeah, not something we really see in anymore at the 2019 time, at least. Oh, check this out. Look at that ceiling. That ceiling absolutely needs a paint job. There have either been patches or something's going on that ceiling, but I would paint the entire ceiling, because the last thing I want to signal to my buyers is that there's an issue with the roof or some kind of latent problem with the ceiling. Paint it. You can paint ceilings really inexpensively.
And what you connected most with. This room is definitely, I still have some more work to do, and boxes and stuff to put away, and yes.
I would honestly probably just clear this room out. All of these DVDs, everything, box it up, get rid of it, get the couch out of there, get that random chair out of there. None of this stuff is necessary. If you're not living there, get it out. Even if you're living there, honestly, get it out, because your goal is to sell the property within the first week or two that it's on the market, so you don't have to live with that inconvenience forever.
Spackle, paint, I did all these man jobs. So I'm touching up the paint in here. This particular wall needs to be completely done, and...
if this particular wall needs to be completely done, and I think this is the entrance hallway right here, paint it a brighter color, or like a more modern kind of like lighter gray. This particular kind of Navajo white yellowish junk that's going on, it's dated. If you're gonna do the whole wall in the entrance hallway, at least brighten it up and go with a modern color. I mean, I'm glad they took the faceplate off, or she took the faceplate off, but yeah, I mean, going around doing the spackling and paint, cool, but a little bit newbie with the color you're reapplying. Oh, look at that ceiling, it's bad. Look at that smoke detector, that's disgusting, oh my gosh. Ay. I'd probably also get rid of Scarface over there on the wall, but that smoke detector has gotta go. It just signals old, gross, ugly, and dated. Bad.
I moved everything out of the way so that I can take the photos for the house. This is like the piles of junk, and it's like really hard for me to make decisions of these last.
She just said that she moved everything out of the way so she could take photos for the house. Why are you taking photos of the house yourself? You should be getting professional grade photos after you get all your junk out of there. All you should be doing to get your place ready right now is getting your junk out of there. Look at that stain up on that ceiling. Ugh. This is that sponged room. I would probably honestly get rid of both of these pieces of furniture. The room already felt small enough. I mean, the fact that she has to lie back like this just to get the photo is a sign that the room is a little bit on the small side. Getting rid of this furniture would probably help dramatically. This is where she should be spending more time focusing on that and less time focusing on taking her own photos. And honestly, any interior photographer that's worth anything knows that interior shots are always taken on a tripod, unless you want a really grainy image. I don't know how I feel about this particular bookshelf. To me, the lacquer that they use to kind of make this, get this like reddish look, it doesn't look great. It looks a little dated, it looks really shiny, it looks meh. I would almost want to see this kind of get a sort of refinished, distressed gray look to it. Let's see if we can pull up a picture. Take a peek at this particular image, how much this would transform that bookshelf if you had some kind of plank in the back or some kind of distressed gray color in the back, and then maybe white shelving or white sides. It would completely change the feeling of this bookshelf. This looks like a place you want to move into. This looks like a bookshelf you want to get rid of. And remember, paint is not that expensive.
Crazy thinking that this place is about to be gone. This is history. It's going down in history. I'm sad to sell it, but I definitely want to get rid of it.
You know, and then you always gotta wonder, has she thought about just keeping it as a rental? Probably not. She says she wants to get rid of it, but now she's probably, you know, if this is a $700,000 property, spending at least $40,000, $50,000 in selling costs, commissions, escrow title, attorneys, you name it, plus probably some fix-up costs, HOA transfer fees. It adds up fast. And that's a lot of money you could be, giving to a property manager to manage the property over the next decade or more. It's hard to tell, but it looks like even the trim around the tiling there, that sort of slate mix tile, is black, like this lacquered black. All of this is sort of contributing to making the space feel smaller. All right, then it looks like we go into this let's show off some old clothing segment, but in this particular shot, I could see that the windows are really, really dirty, and there's nothing like clean windows to help sell a property. At this point, I believe we're pretty much at the end of the video, with the exception of now I can also see that that is probably a broken blind back there, and quite frankly, I am a little bit exhausted with clearly the lack of advice this particular famous YouTuber has gotten in terms of being able to prepare this property for sale. This is why surrounding yourself with professionals, if you're going to do something, is a really good idea. Anyway, there you have it. Follow me on Instagram, and until next time.